Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to do blocks. New update's done. I've been running it for about a week. Seems like it's running smooth. I've had a couple little problems and some bugs that I've fixed, and I've streamlined the process. So let's get to it. I've got a couple things I want to copy over to the TV first. 4 blocks. Let me bring up my drive here. This is the TV on this side. This is my hard drive on this side. Let's go into identifications. That's where all my block stuff already is. We're going to be working on the prototype TV today, the one I've been using, not the one that's out in the garage, because I have more shows on this. But I have some Toonami stuff that I'm going to copy over. That's a commercial. We're going to ignore that. But let's go ahead and we got Toonami He-Man commercial break and commercial return. I'm going to copy that over. I got a random Toonami break, and then I've got Toonami Transformers Armada com break and return. And I've got a Batman com break and return and a reboot com break and return. Now, what you name these files doesn't matter. Notice some of them are TNM, some of them flat out say Toonami. None of that matters on the file name. So let's copy these over real quick. And then I'm going to close these out. Or actually, I'm going to leave this one up and I'm going to put it to the side just so I remember what I copied over. Let's go ahead and log in. Now we're going to scan for new breaks. This will just bring them into the system. That way we can go ahead and do this and not worry about it. Scan drives for new breaks. Alright, I paused that so you didn't have to sit through it. But it's showing everything that was scanned and everything that it read. So there's everything we copied over. It found it, put it in there. We're not going to worry about it at the moment. I just wanted to get them in there. First, I want to explain to you what blocks are. Okay, let's explain what blocks are in depth. First, we start with our basic timeline. We've got 6 cartoons in a row from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're going to look at Toonami in the afternoons as the way I have it on Rex's TV. But when we change them to Toonami episodes using the TV series that we made using the TNM abbreviation, we now have created a block of television consisting of Toonami shows. With this new block of television, the commercial breaks have changed slightly. Now there are breaks, of which you decide on when you set up the block version of your show. In this example, I will choose random for each break. Intro, outro, commercial break, and commercial return. So when the scheduler runs each night, it'll see which show runs first in the block and place a random block intro at the beginning of that show. It'll also find the final show in the block and place a random block outro at the end of that show. For like Toonami, I think it says goodbye or later. And for the intro, it's always Tom arriving on the ship, getting up to the bridge, sitting down, and starting everything up. And throughout the block, it'll choose the proper random breaks for each space, or specific breaks if you choose that in each show. If you choose a specific series to be associated with a random break, then they will be chosen from first. And if we go into schedule, I'm going to manage my template and we'll see what it looks like for Rex's TV channel 1, where I have my Toonami series at 3 to 6 every day. As soon as the list populates. There we go. Let's just choose Monday. Edit template. Here we are. Starting at 3 o'clock, I put Super Mario Brothers Toonami. 3:30, Reboot Toonami. 4 o'clock, Big O Toonami. 4:30, Zoids Toonami. 5 p.m., Dragon Ball Z Toonami. And 5:30 is Tokyo Underground Toonami. Then at 6 o'clock is just regular old MacGyver. So the block only starts here, and this is where the intro was at the beginning of Super Mario Brothers. And at the end of Tokyo Underground, the intro or the outro with the later will be there. And I have a new section here called blocks that you can click on. And here you can add and remove your own blocks. Each block has an abbreviation that has to be 3 letters. And it has to be that because that's how it saves it in the system. And it will search for and remove or look for these 3-letter acronyms to see which block it is. And then you can put your own name for it here. like ASS for Adult Swim Saturday. That's because I have different bumpers for Adult Swim Saturday than I do weekdays. ASW, Adult Swim weekdays. Nick at Nights, NAN. Saturday morning blocks I have as SMB. SVS is something that very few people remember. The Saturday Video Game System. I remember watching that on Saturdays. TMR for Toonami Midnight Run, which I don't have on here right now. I don't have anything for that just yet. I plan to in the future. And of course, regular Toonami, TNM. And you can create your own. And it just adds it and throws it in alphabetical order, or you can delete it. That's it. Just throw all your blocks in there. The reason why they're in there is because when we go to all videos and edit breaks, let's view our breaks not assigned. It'll show what I copied over here. And yes, you can make each block either an intro to a TV show, an outro, or a commercial break, or a commercial return, or all of them. And then you can choose which channel you want them to play on. That way you can have different Saturday morning blocks like I do. My 80s channel will only have ones from the 80s because I'll assign it to that 80s channel, and then I'll have other Saturday morning blocks assigned to my 90s channel. Each one will be different. You can watch your different era. It's highly customizable. That was the point of all this. Or we can go in and edit each one at a time. All videos, edit breaks. Let's go to edit a break. This is why I left my window up off to the side so I can actually look to see what I copied over. Is the date modified? Will that be when I copied it? There we go. Here's all the ones that I copied over. So let's look for Toonami Random 6. And I can just type it in here. Toonami Random 6, not assigned. And it'll say here next to it what it's assigned to, because I want this one to be a bunch of everything. And I'm going to do the same with these. There's multiples of these here because the way I used to do it was I created different breaks for the same file name. You don't have to do that anymore, so you'll never see that. So let's play with that here. We're going to go in and edit Toonami Random 6. It shows you a little preview. There could be up to 3 pictures depending on how long the break is, showing you what it's going to be. But this is what this one looks like. And it's just a random little Toonami bumper. It's not specifically for a commercial return or a break. It's not specifically for an intro or an outro. It's not specified for a show. So I'm going to put this on RetroTV, the channel. I'm going to make it everything. For music videos, we're not going to use this for that, of course. But if you have a block of random music videos, either a half-hour block or an hour block, if you check this and assign it to that channel, it'll allocate this break to play before that series of music videos. So I have a bunch of MTV videos that are clicked for this. We're going to ignore it here. Down here is the block information. Well, can't really highlight it, can I? There we go. Well, give or take. You can assign it to which block you want. I want this to be Toonami. Block position. This means if it's an intro to that block, like the very first show, the very first intro that plays, you can make it intro. If it's the very last one, you can make it outro. I'll explain that in a moment. Main is what we're going to leave it as because this is just a random block that can play anywhere in the middle of that block of TV programming. And we're going to click random because we want it to be random. If it was assigned to a show, which we're going to show you in a moment, we can choose that here, but we're going to leave this as any. So basically, if that show doesn't have an assigned Toonami block or break for it, it'll choose this or a couple others that I also have chosen as any. I'm going to save it. Save, yes. There we go. Now we're going to show you the difference when we actually specify a break for a TV episode. I'm going to go edit a break. We're going to look for, let's do reboot, since I actually actively have reboot currently. We'll do a commercial break. Let's go down to, is it R? I lost the ability to alphabeticalize in my head? Oh, it'll be under T for Toonami. Duh. Okay. Toonami. Here we go. Toonami reboot, commercial break, not assigned. Let's assign it. We're going to put it on channel 1, Rex's TV. This is a commercial break. So I'm going to click commercial break. We only want it playing when it goes to commercial breaks. Block, of course, we're going to choose Toonami. Block position will be main, so that it'll play anytime within the middle of Toonami if it's a reboot episode, because we're going to assign it to reboot. Ta-da, right there. And we're going to make it, no, do we want it random? Yeah, we do want it random, because we can actually have more than one of these. If we find different ones for reboot, commercial breaks, we can put those in there too, click random, and then it'll randomly choose between those 2, or 3, or 4, however many you find. Like Dragon Ball Z has a ton of commercial breaks for Toonami, and you can just randomly choose them. We'll save that. Let's go in and do commercial return as well while we're thinking about it. But then we're going to go in and make our shows Toonami shows as well. Let's go to edit a break. Scroll down to Toonami. Reboot column return, not assigned. So we're going to put it on channel 1. Make it a column return. For the Toonami block, we're going to leave main. We're going to click random, and we're going to assign it to reboot. And see, it's different because this one actually comes back to reboot. It has Tom talking to you, telling you what's going on. So, all right. Now, let's go into our shows. We're going to make a show to a Toonami show. I don't know which show I don't have as currently a Toonami show. Let's go look at edit all shows in a series. Let's bring down drop-down list. I can actually look and see. When you make a show, you can copy it to another type of show, like Third Rock from the Sun. I also have Third Rock from the Sun running as a Nick at Night block episode, so you'll see it has a space NAN for Nick at Night. Alf, the animated series, Saturday morning block. Alf, regular Alf. I have regular Alf here, then Alf has the Nick at Night episode series. American Dad, I have a series for American Dad that runs on Adult Swim Weekly right here. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Adult Swim Weekly. I mean, you're getting the gist of it. Like Batman the Animated Series, there's the regular ones that don't have any special breaks or anything. I have a series for Saturday morning block, and I also have a series for Toonami. Let's make one for, see, we got our Beavis and Butthead, and we have a Beavis and Butthead Adult Swim Weekly. Big O, Adult Swim Weekly. I'm looking for something that I can change. Let's go down to reboot. Since we've been playing with reboot, what do we have for it? Oh, we have, I lost it. There it is. Reboot. We have a reboot for Saturday morning blocks, and we have a reboot for Toonami. Let's make a reboot for Adult Swim Saturday, maybe? Actually, let's do Robotech, because I only have 2 for Robotech. Robotech and Robotech Adult Swim Weekly. Let's make a Saturday morning block for Robotech. There we go. Let's close out of that. How we do that is we have to actually copy the show. It doesn't copy the files on the drive, so it doesn't take any more space. It just creates new database entries for that version of the show that plays on that block. That way it can save new commercial breaks, new intros, new outros. Now we're going to do that by, let's go back to our main menu, and let's go to TV series, because now we can see the entire series of a show. We are going to copy a TV series, and it shows you right here, copies a normal show to a show block. If the target season already exists, then only new shows will be copied. So basically you can accidentally copy one show over another show that already exists, but if you've added, like manually added episodes to it, it'll just copy those new episodes. But for now, we're just going to use it for the function of copying to a new block show. So let's click Copy TV Series. Let's go down to Robotech. There it is, Robotech. Use this season. Now we're going to assign it to a block, which will be Saturday morning block. And we have our option here to change the intros, outros, so we don't have to go back and do it manually later. We can do it now. I'm going to make everything random, because that way it'll choose a random intro, it'll choose a random outro, it'll choose a random commercial break, and it'll choose a random calm return. And if there's any intros, outros, breaks, or returns assigned to this episode or to the series of Robotech, it'll choose that first. If it doesn't find anything, then it'll default to a generic random one. Great shows. This will take a moment because it's actually creating new database entries. Okay, that finished copying and it takes you straight back to the menu. So let's go into all videos. Edit all shows in a series. We just want to see what it did. Let's go back to Robotech. And then there it is. There's the one we just copied. Robotech 2 Saturday morning block. It's loading up, and here it is. Here's all the episodes. Here's the intro, outro, break outro, or commercial break, commercial return. They're all set to random, which I don't want. And then each episode has one breaks, and there's where the break is. Because I found Robotech by another means, it didn't have chapter markers, so I haven't put the commercial breaks into it yet. But now there's a Saturday morning block series of Robotech. It's just that simple. And it'll find a random Saturday morning block for the intro, outro, break, and return, which I have. Let's view all breaks. This takes just a second to load because I have a lot of breaks. We can scroll down to SMB. There we go. I've got a whole bunch of them. And you'll see some of these are doubled. Yours won't show that because of the way I used to do it before I made this update. Like, I have 2 random 5s here. One's a commercial break, one's a commercial return. One can be both now. Eventually I'll go in and clean that up on my prototype, or I'll just make a whole new, I'll reinstall the prototype from scratch and put a new update on it. But breaks are also handy for, like, Transor Z. Each episode didn't have a credits or an intro, so I actually found the credits and intro on YouTube, download them individually, and I have the credits that play and assign them as a break. And I have an intro and I put it as a break. That way it still plays right before the show plays, and then it plays after the show plays. That's it. I mean, it's just that simple. So it used to be a lot more difficult. You had to name files, certain things, name the actual name of the break in the database, a certain thing, and you don't have to do any of that now. I've tried to streamline it as easy as possible for everybody. And you can see which ones are not assigned, and just go ahead and do that. But you can't assign them to a block yet. If I even ever do that, we'll see. And you can go in and see them all at once, or you can go in and see them detailed. You don't need to create a break anymore, honestly. When you scan for them, it does everything you need. So, that's it.